Hey guys, welcome back. So this is another story time. I have so many story times to tell you guys. I really do. My last few story times, if you haven't how do you say that? If you haven't checked them out yet, okay? So yeah, make sure you go check those out. I'll link those in the descriptions box. I need to work on not speaking so fast. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. I watched my videos back and I go, wait, they don't understand that. Like Cardi B, she's so country and ghetto from Love and Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? She's so ghetto. Oh my god, that girl's ghetto. But anywho, today's story is about the time that I snuck out the house as a teenager, and I was with my boyfriend and his friends and my cousin, and basically we were on like an escapade. We went from a basketball game to the club to the party to Shop and Save, which is like Kroger or Snooks, or it's not Save a Lot. It's like, I don't know where you guys are watching from, but it's like a local grocery store. But it's not like local, it's like a chain of grocery stores. So if you're in the States, then you should be familiar with like Kroger. I think Kroger is definitely in the South. I don't know about up north, but I know that we had Snooks and Shop and Save. So anyway, we ended up everywhere, almost killing ourselves in the snow because I almost slid into a pole. There was so much going on. So I'll just start with the beginning. So this is how it started. So it was a game at one of the main high schools. I'm from the St. Louis area. So basically this was one of the best basketball games of the year. I think it was one of the last. It might have been Eastside's homecoming. I think it was their homecoming because it was definitely October. So, and I had a boyfriend from the school that I had went to. He went to the school that was named East. I went to West. So he kind of broke up with me in a way. Like, he was the type that we argued, but like I thought things were all good. I thought we were still together. But like I found out through his friend, who kind of liked me anyway, that we weren't together. So I was like, well, whatever, I'm going to the game, I'm going to my girls. And something happened where my girls had to flake, so my dad ended up letting me drive his truck. So I said, okay, cool. He had a 2004 Envoy. So this was like 2004 or 5. And so basically I told my cousin, because my mom was old having me, honestly. She was 31 having me, but she was like in her 40s. Yeah, she was like late 40s, almost 50. So my first cousins are like 30 something. They were like 30 something with like 4 kids, my age. So I was kicking it with my cousin. So I told her, she lived in like, about 10 minutes away. So I told her, I said, well, look, I'm going to come up with this plan. And I know that my mom will let me go to the game, but she won't let me go to the after party. Now, wait, there was an after party. The after party, as a matter of fact, she did let me go to the after party, which was right next door, because she knew the people who owned the Red Fox building or whatever. It was like an after school type of thing. So it was okay. But there was the after party at the Club Onyx. So, and I think it was the Monastery back then, or either XO or whatever. But she was not going. She was like, no. So I told my cousin, I said, well, we can go to all 3 parties if I tell my mom I'm staying over your house, and you tell your mom you're staying over my house, and I come get you. And I was so dumb. I didn't even think about how long. I guess we planned on staying out till like 6 in the morning, and we were just gonna show up at somebody's house. So we didn't think that far. But anywho, so my ex-boyfriend was like, he kept calling my phone. Like back then, of course, the early 2000s, we didn't have cell phones like that at all. What we did, but they weren't like text messages and stuff like that. They were like flip phones. So he kept calling my landline that my mom got for me. You know, like how you get like a second line for $10 or whatever. That's what she did. So he kept calling, and I was trying to finish dinner with my parents so I could go ahead and go to the game. So she was kind of like, who was that keep doing the calling? And I was like, oh, this is my friend, my friend or whatever. So he was like, come on, girl, hurry up, come get me. I was like, you need to wait, because he hadn't had his car yet, but he was older than me. And actually, he wasn't my boyfriend. He was a friend. I don't know. I knew he had liked me, and everybody at my school knew he liked me. And he kind of knew my current boyfriend at the time, because I didn't know we had broken up. So my friend, who was going to be my future boyfriend, I can tell that story later, but I went to go get him, and I went to go get my cousin. He tells me 3 of his homeboys are around the corner and they trying to go. And I actually grew up in church with them, so I knew they were good kids. So, it is what it is. So, mind you, it's me, my cousin, who's a female. We're the same age. We're actually a day apart. The friend slash future boyfriend hit one of his friends, one of his friends, and I think it was, yeah, Mikey and his brother. So that's 5 people. Me, my cousin, Tony, Micah, and his brother. Yeah, it's 5 people. My dad had an 8-passenger truck. So we go to the game. I dropped them off, and I'm with my cousin. We're there. We're going to the game, whatever. So after the game, Tony, he was like, well, I don't have a ride home. So I was like, okay, whatever. We're going to the game anyway. Well, we're going to the after party anyway, which is next door. So I'll take you home, whatever. So he honey, I'm not stupid. He put gas in my car too. For all you females around here riding these dudes around in your cars and they're not even putting gas in there. Yes, ma'am. I was good at 16 years old with him putting coins in my tank. Okay. So anyway, because he was 17, so he had some money somehow. Anywho, so we were at the after party and I was with more of my friends that I met, and me and my cousin was there. And so after the after party, I think somebody fought. Like, I think there was a fight or something, and it was supposed to be a birthday party. So anyway, we all ended up outside, and we were trying to figure out, like, are we gonna go to the club or what? So everybody was saying, meet me at the club, that's where we're going. So we was like, okay, we're going to the club. Now my cousin is thinking that I'm with my mom. My mother's thinking that I'm in my cousin's house. So it's all good. They're both clueless. So my Tony, which is the future boyfriend slash friend, he invites 3 more people. So one of his best friend that went to my school too, which is a 6th person, plus 2 of his little side chicks and her friends, which were the cheerleaders. It was like 9 people in the car, in the truck. So I'm like, okay, where y'all gas money? Tony was like, don't worry about it, I got it. So I knew some of the girls. I went to middle school with them, so it was cool. I dropped them off down. It was about 10 minutes. It was a little distance, so I had to drop them off on the south end. And they were like, okay, cool, because they were trying to go to the club. No, baby, you're not about to get the free fare off of me. I'm not responsible for you children, because they were younger than me anyway. So I think they were like freshmen or sophomores. But anyway, so I dropped them off, and then it was 7 of us. Well, it was 6 of us because Rashad was still with us. So anyway, we go to the club. It was completely whack. I was like, girl, we lied for this. So, it was kind of okay in the beginning or whatever. Tony paid for us, of course, me and my cousin, because I was like, no, honey. If I'm driving, you paying for everything and our food. We went to McDonald's. So, I think we ended up at White Castles or somewhere else and whatever. And somehow we ended up at the grocery store. And then, matter of fact, before I could pull off really to go to the club, there was like some it was snowing. And so it was like around Christmas. No, it wasn't around Christmas. I can't remember, but I know it was snow in St. Louis. So there was like, I was speeding through the alley. And I almost hydroplaned, almost slid into one of the poles, and I stopped right in time. They were like, oh my God, Antasia, you're about to kill us. They were just tripping and throwing stuff. Tony was throwing condoms in the car. He had some Magnum condoms. And the boys were just so childish. They were flicking, they opened the condoms and started flicking them at each other. And I was like, that's so childish. So I didn't think about the condoms until, like the next day. Like, they were just flicking condoms. So I'm like, I can clean it up. Because this is my dad's car. My dad's truck or whatever. So I was like, whatever. So, we almost got pulled by the police. We almost died so many times that night. But anyway, we stopped at the grocery store because we got hungry. And it was boring. The club was whack. So we were like, okay, there's nothing else to do. It was like 3 in the morning. So I check out, and I'm coming back from the bathroom, and Tony's looking at me like, holding the phone like The Grudge or something. And I'm like, what's your problem? What's up? He's like, it's your mom. I'm like, oh my goodness, how did she get your number? I'm thinking like, bro, and when you get caught up in a lie, you act like a cheap boyfriend. You start thinking like, okay, what should I say that's not too much for her to know that I'm lying, but just enough to for her to believe me. I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute. You start rehearsing in your head, how did I get messed up? How did I get caught? I was like, wait, how did she get his number? So it was my mama. I was like, no, I ain't here. How stupid of him to answer the phone and say, yeah, she's here. Like, no, I would have been like, I don't know where Antasia is. I have no idea where Antasia is. Do you know where Antasia is? Where in the world is Carmen Cindy? I'd have been like, where is Antasia? Okay, we don't know. So I hung hung up. Then my cousin's mama called. I said, oh my God, she cussed him out. I was like, oh my God, we dead. So I was like, I'm not talking to her until I drop y'all off. So I start speeding. I almost hit a pole again. I dropped Mikey, I dropped the guys off, and then my mama called again, and I answered the phone. She was like, okay, where you at? I said, I'm on my way home. She said, okay, fine. I hung up the phone. I got there. One of my cousins was living with me because her mom had passed. And you already know where my mama was waiting for me at. But we might as well say it together. She was waiting at the door. Girl. And I thought she was going to have a belt in her hand this time, but she didn't. So what she told me to do was, she was like, that's okay. We're about to go all the way to your dad's house. We're about to take that truck back. And you about to come home, and you ain't going nowhere. No more games, no more Jordans, no nothing. I was like, no more Jordans? I didn't care about driving. I was like, no more Jordans? No, God. That's all my life was about. Collecting J's, Forces, clothes, gear, Lot 29, Echo. Back then, everything was out. I think South Pole was still hidden. Tommy Hilfiger, Jabos, you know, everything. In St. Louis and up north, we didn't have polo boots. We didn't even wear polo like that. We wore Timberland. Timberland boots. We still, and back then they were a little cheaper. Okay, mine was 107 plus tax. Well, no, 107 with the tax. Okay, and we had first down jackets like Brandy back then. I wanna be down. I'm like, yes, first down. So anyway, so I had to, my dad answered the phone. He was like, man, Antasia, what you do? And he was on my side, you know. I was like, Daddy. And the new J's were just coming out the next day, which was Saturday morning. And back where I'm from, we had to get up early, like 3 in the morning, to stand in line until 5 in the morning, to where the stores will open up at 6 in the morning early for you to get the Jordans. And you had to literally be there to stand in your spot to get your shoes. So I was like, man, what am I gonna do about the J's tomorrow? I ain't care about nothing else, because I'm like, look, I need them J's, because when Monday come, I'm trying to look fresh. You know, my high school was like, we didn't wear uniforms. It was like ATL, like, you know, that movie ATL, where the high school was just like a fashion show. So we dropped the car off, and my dad gave me a sad look, and I was like, yo, Dad, can you do me a favor and go to, because we had like 11 malls. We do have like about 11 malls in the St. Louis area. So yeah, St. Louis is popping. So I was like, Daddy, can you please? She was like, come on, let's go, get in this car, get in this car. I was like, Daddy, can you please go get the J's tomorrow? Can you please stand in line for me tomorrow? Go do it, and then just drop them off outside my window, and I'll get them. He was like, okay. I thought he was lying. You know, I thought he was just playing, because my dad would say he'll do something, and then something comes up, and he'll be like, nope. You know, so it just depends with him. But this time, you know, she hollered the whole way home. And you gonna get in the car? That's okay. Who was you with? That's okay. I know the little boy you was with. I know you was with a little boy. I said, Mama, I don't know what I told you in my last story time. I was a good liar. I believed my own lies. I was like, did I do that? Did I do that for a wait? Did I do? So I was like, oh, what you talking about, Willis? I don't know no boys. I don't know no boys. Now, what we no boys? So she was like, that's okay. I know you was with a little boy, but that's fine. That's okay. I got you. When you get home, you ain't going nowhere. She was going down the list, the whole drive, 20-minute drive, listening to her. I'm like, bro, this is torture enough, man. This is serious. Like, are you done? She almost slapped me upside my head. My cousin had to drop her off. You know, we dropped her off. And I know she was grounded too, so we snuck on the phone that night before she took it out of my room. And we were like, yeah, it's over with, huh? Yeah. So anyway, the next morning, yo, when I say my dad was like, it was like 6 in the morning. I was like, yo, he came. My dad was so clutch. Came with the new J's. I don't even remember what J's was out. It was, let's see, 2005. That was when the 12s were already out. So 2004 was the 13. No, it must have been some 13s. And if it was October, Jordan normally comes out with some red shoes around that time. I don't know. It's been a minute. It might have been some Dove Zeros or something. I can't remember, but I know he had them, and I was like, yes. So I went outside. She was still asleep, and I, you know, put them in my closet. And I said I wasn't gonna wear them on Monday because I knew she was gonna be looking at my feet because she knew that they were coming out. So I think I wore them Tuesday. And she didn't know because she always left home before me. So you know, girl still had the J's. But anyway, yeah, we were grounded. We couldn't go to the games for like 2 weeks, and my mom. my mom was kind of soft, you know, even though she was a drill sergeant. I stuck with that lie, so I think she ended up believing my lie too. So she ended up letting me go to the next game with one of my other cousins, but my other cousin had to drive. I was like, dang, now I have to be on her time. So anyway, basically, okay, so yeah, so here's the end of the story. That ain't all. So this is where it gets real. So my dad, you know, he has his truck, and he's out to eat with his sisters and his mother, you know, his family. And I'm at my mama's house on a punishment. And you know, my boy cousin was in the car with my dad, and you know, he was like, yo, Uncle June, whose condoms are these? Dun dun dun. So I won't leave you guys hanging. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a little bit about this. So my dad was like, Antasia said that she's a virgin. So, and I graduated high school virgin. Tony and his stupid friends left those condoms in the car, and they were magnums at that. So I was like, my dad called me, and you know, he didn't tell me about this part, but him and his sisters, you know, my big mouth cousin told everybody at the family gathering. He was like, you know, Uncle Joe found some condoms in the car. Just because they was all having sex don't mean that, you know your cousin's trying to get you in trouble, think that you doing bad. Nah, I was a good girl. So my aunts were like, June, you being too soft, you being naive. You might want to talk to her about sex. He was like, no, I don't think so. I think that he believed every word. And what I did used to lie a lot, but honestly, I was honest with that part. I was not sexually active. Like Tony, he ended up being my boyfriend like the next month, because I later found out, yeah, my ex tried to call me and was like, yeah, so I heard you was with Tony at the game. Okay. Your friend told me we were broken up. He was like, well, so did I tell you we were broken up? I was like, no, but okay, so I'm not a cheater here. Don't try to make me seem like I'm a cheater because you weren't man enough to tell me we were done, but you were talking. I said, okay, but he also told me about your other little girl that you talking to. What about them other little females? I'm real petty. I always have to throw shade, like with guys. Like, what about your other little girls? What about them? Don't try to play me when you have some other girls too at your high school. Yeah, I heard at the door, heard about you. I was waiting on you. So anyway, yeah, so my dad was like, you know, Antasia, so what's up with the condoms? And I was like, Daddy, now you know, honest to God, I did have some guys in the car, but I had my cousin with me, so you know we didn't do anything nasty. I explained it to him, and he was like, okay, I believe you. And he did. But he never told my mom about it, because she'd have went crazy. She never knew to this day. But the way that she found out that, you know, it was Tony was because she remembered that when I was at the house and I was trying to rush through dinner, he kept calling me. Bruh, I was like, why did you keep calling me? He made me so mad when we were at school the next day. Everybody had heard about the story. They were like, oh, so y'all go together? So we was like, nah, not yet. But anyway, I can talk about that. I need to talk about that too in the story time, because he was my first kiss. I was 17. I'm not ashamed, whatever. Some of y'all girls been did more than that. But he was like the high school boyfriend. He used to walk me out my classes, walk my books, all that little cute stuff. But he ended up dogging me, baby, before Christmas. He started smashing all the homies. He actually started dating my best. Wait, I won't even tell it all. I'll say, if you guys want to hear about that crazy story, comment more story time or talk about Tony. Put hashtag talk about Tony. We'll talk about him for a little bit. Tony cool. He's a tattoo artist now. He ain't stuck me, so he's cool if he watches this video. But anywho, I will say, I hope you girls learn, you teenagers, do not sneak out. I hydroplaned twice. Like, I almost killed us all. Like, it was too many people in the car, too many girls. I will say for you females, though, that like to let these guys walk all over you, use the car and all that kind of stuff, you need to make sure you're getting money, honey. Don't do all that for free. So, yeah. And also, don't sneak out. Just tell the truth. And going to the clubs late, like, if something would have happened to us, that club was notorious for getting shot up. I think that is what happened. Something happened like that night. So, just be where you're supposed to be. Text your parents or something so they won't be worried and they won't call the police like my mom did before. Yeah. Oh man, I almost went to jail so many times with her. It didn't make sense. My dad, oh my God. He did go to jail a couple times, but he got out. It was all good. But anyway, I'll talk about them too later. But anywho, hope you guys enjoyed the story time. It was crazy, but hey. See you guys next time. Don't forget the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and share these stories. And if you haven't checked out my other videos, make sure you do. I have a lot of goals. My 2016 goals video where I teach people how to basically maintain your goals and how to reach them, how to plan for them, and my Pretty Hurts video where it's not me singing Pretty Hurts, it's basically like the message. It's like Motivational Monday about like different people who try to like use facades to cover up who they really are inside when, you know, people are hurting. And it's really good. You should check it out. So see you guys